says we're going live. It says we're going live. It says we're here.
Are we?
I mean, I think what I just watched proves you were not all here. I'm a little concerned.
You should be.
I feel like I should say something to you about not skipping our own damn ads. Everybody else, feel free. Skip the ads. It's fine. Like, I skip the ads on videos I watch. But I do think that the co-owner of a channel...
Just be lucky I'm not using the damn ad blocker.
Thanks for that. Again, if you have an ad... Actually, YouTube has been threatening to not let people access YouTube if they have an ad blocker.
Yeah.
Did you have to turn your ad blocker back on?
Yeah. Yeah, they caught me. They blocked me. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about, what's it called, YouTube Premium? I mean, it's not in our budget, but I've heard good things. So, anyway, it's fine.
But yeah, they caught me. Went for several years with the ad blocker.
I know you did.
And not having any ads on.
Not supporting your favorite creators. So they could make tenths of pennies from ads. Actually, that's just the adult content.
Because a lot of them have gotten obnoxiously...
Oh, yeah. Like, technically, we don't make a lot of money on AdSense because we're chronically demonetized, but part of it is also I won't just shove a ton of ads in. If you ever come across one of our videos and it's like ad after ad after ad, you need to let me know, because that was YouTube auto putting in ads, not us. Like, I treated it like TV. Like, there needs to be enough space from one ad to the next where you, like, yeah, no, we don't do that. Anyway, hello.
Hi, everyone.
Kayla Lords.
John Brownstone.
Of Loving BDSM, where we help kinksters like you have happy, healthy power exchange relationships. This is our weekly live stream where we record our podcast, the audio version of which hits all major podcast apps every Friday. We are currently here, as of the time of this second, 6 minutes early. If you were here for the live stream and you don't like idle chit chat, you got a few minutes, do what you need to do. If you're here after the stream, but before I put in timestamps and you don't like idle chit chat, fast forward by about 6 minutes. But let's be real, it's us, and we've already started chaotically enough. What are you doing over there? She said submissively. So maybe fast forward by more than the 6 minutes. Oh my God. Before I say hi, I want to say, Junie, 1, I'm proud of you. 2, skip any of the ads. Like, every once in a while, because we are so chronically demonetized, if there's an ad on us, it's usually like a crap ad. I have seen like 50-minute ads play against a video. You don't. That's just like you just watched a movie or a documentary. Don't do that. But, we appreciate any and all tenths of pennies we receive. I'm going to say hello to people. I haven't even had a sip of my second coffee of the day yet, but here we go. Hi, Junie. Hi, Kitty. Hi, Omi and Cuckoo. Hi, Rara. Hi, Eva. Hi, Mary. Hi, Brittany. Or is it Mari? I can't remember. Correct me. Hi, Candace. Am I missing anybody? I don't think so. Hi, Missy. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Wow, you did that 5 minutes early.
I know.
If you can't already tell, it's probably going to be chaotic. We tried way early today, like 2 hours ago, maybe more than that. We didn't try. We succeeded in recording the short episode podcast thing that'll come out next Monday. That'll be the last thing that comes out with us being on break for a couple weeks. And we were trying to play it serious, and we were...
That went to hell real quick.
Well, the intro's chaotic. The answering the question, that was a serious question. So, like, we did, but, like, I already couldn't find words and was like, I knew what I was trying to convey, but I couldn't. And then I think in the middle of a sentence, I lost my train of thought and I had to try and loop back around. And that just might be a section that doesn't make any sense.
Right, because I'm not editing it.
Well, depends on how you consume it. Thank you, Mari. The moment I said Mary, I knew it was wrong. And I was like, wait, isn't it Mari? Thank you for the correction. But I can edit it in the video.
Right.
There's so much I edit out of our videos that don't get edited out. And that's the short videos that don't get edited out of podcasts. So if you want a different experience, do both. So yeah.
Yeah, whether it gets edited or not depends on how I'm feeling at the moment of editing.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not the last one, but there was one that I just gave you permission. I was like, look, Don't worry about
You
going
did.
through and doing
You
any
did.
heavy edits. I had to go back and say, oh, but you need to do this one edit because there's 30 seconds of dead silence while we let Lola out and then let her back in.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you might want to edit that out. I taste you. Yeah, Junie, buffering. Yeah, that's been me. I'm about to be extremely caffeinated, so maybe we'll go from buffering to just fast forwarding through everything. Just like, I don't know, something. A couple things that are YouTube only that I'm going to say before I forget. Today, the day of the live stream, Wednesday, December 13th, and no time after that, if you happen to see this later, is the last day of a sale we're running over at the Kinkery, thekinkery.com. If you are placing an order, a U.S. only order of $35 or more, you can get free standard shipping if you use the coupon code FREESHIPPING23. There's literally a note at the top of the website that reminds you of the coupon code, but today is it if you wanted to save any money off of an order of a kink toy. And it's a savings of like $8 to $10 because our shipping is flat rate based on the weight of the order. So yeah, it's not a small savings. It's not like you saved $4. I think it's something. I'm just saying. And then also I'm wearing a shirt from our shop. The shop I have not updated like I said I wanted to back in early November. But this shirt makes me happy.
I know.
I'm hoping that we find our rhythm at the beginning of 2024 so that I can have ample time to work on the Etsy shops.
There you go.
That's the hope and plan.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So.
And me, I'm just wearing a generic long sleeve shirt.
We're in Florida cold. We're not in our deep winter cold. That'll come in like January, February. But we're in our Florida cold. And so I'm wearing fuzzy socks and sweatpants. It's delightful.
I'm wearing slippers and long pants.
Yeah. Yep. I almost did today's episode in pajamas. And then I went, no,
Excuse me.
I don't want to do that. So comfy clothes anyway.
Come game night, we'll be in pajamas.
Game night, yes, because we don't do cameras on game night.
True.
And that's something we do through our Patreon, patreon.com/GilLords, link down below. Yeah. And then what else? We'll talk about this in the announcements, but we have a stream Friday night. I won't wear PJs for that one because that one is going to require me to stand up and not completely show my ass, but like point my butt to the camera.
Yeah.
So I won't wear PJs for that one. Yeah. Yes.
Rara, she needs a onesie.
The problem I have yes, but also
Maybe I need one too.
Probably. But also I get so hot when I get hot. Like I want to be able to take parts off, and I could just see me with a onesie getting hot and just unzipping and being like tits out. Also, I worry that I will have not the appearance of a shirt and no top, but the general shape of Winnie the Pooh in a onesie where he's like all tummy sticking straight out. And I don't know if that's the shape I want to just, I walk around in that shape. Yes, but I, sort of camouflage it with clothes that hang in different ways. And I worry that a onesie I'd just be all stomach, and I might as well just take the pants off and be Winnie the Pooh at that point. Hi, Sin. Tissue, I don't know what might have popped up.
I'm not sure either.
I don't know. The butt window.
The butt window, yeah.
Or if there's like a crotch zipper, because, you got to pee at some point. I don't know. Yeah. But they are cute. Like, I've seen some really cute ones, even at Walmart.
Yeah, see, you open the butt flap, then I'll just take and pipe the fan up.
Up my butt?
Up.
No, that's... Your kink is not my kink, but your kink is okay. Thank you, Jesse, and welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's 12:02. For anybody who either came back after 6 minutes or fast forwarded just 6 minutes, I told you so. Anyway.
Anywho.
As you can tell from the title, we are doing a BDSM Reddit response episode. I cannot promise rants, but maybe.
One never knows.
One never knows. Before we get started, if you enjoy this, we love a thumbs up. If you like it enough to want to come back for more, please consider subscribing.
And then just go ahead, ring that notification bell, and get updates and new content.
Sure. I think I'm going to make the goal for 2024 to maybe finally hit 10,000 subscribers. We grow very slowly because I make the content that makes me happy to make, not the content that the algorithms like, just in general, and probably not the kind of content that people who don't know us and we're strangers to them find interesting and are willing to stick around for. So clearly I'm a professional. But I think that would be a nice little stretch goal to finally get to 10,000 subscribers. Anyway, reminder, yeah, if you like this shirt, I like it too. You can get it on our Etsy shop, link down below. And also, Kinky is in its last day of a sale right now, December 13th. Get free standard shipping on U.S. orders of $35 or more. If I wave my arms, does it look more festive? Do I capture your attention? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
And if you like my shirt, tough, you can't get it. It's the only one I have.
Old Navy or Walmart?
I think it's Old Navy.
Okay. Anyway. Anyway. I think you can hit the magic button.
Okay.
And we will get into this.
And we'll get on our way.
Oh, will we, though?
Doing what we do, huh?
Will we?
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Okay. Before we get started on potential rants, I can't promise anything, but whatever. I have 85 million announcements. First of all, Friday, December 15th. For YouTube folks, that's the Friday after this video is available. For podcast listeners, it's the day this podcast goes live. We are doing our monthly YouTube evening live stream at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. It is a demos for dollars. If you pay for super chats, you get to direct to a certain extent what I get hit with. X, who I'm not sure is here for the live stream, but I know will be around at some point, and I think Andre have already prepaid.
They waste no time.
Right. And I have been told from people who were just witnessing it, that it was a good time for them too. So if you don't have any money, it's fine. Apparently watching me get hit with things is entertainment for some of y'all. So that's what we're doing.
It should feed the exhibitionist in you as well.
It does. But see, now I know what to expect based on last time, and I'm a little nervous. So 9:30 p.m. Eastern on Friday, December 15th.
Yeah, I need to pick some stuff out for that, don't I?
Yeah.
I do.
And it needs to be something that you can easily use on camera kind of situation. Yeah. So no floggers or anything that won't really work.
No.
Anyway, next announcement. We will be vending as the Kinky at an event in Gainesville, Florida, December 30th. That's the Saturday before New Year's Eve. It's New Year's Eve at a party called the Naughty New Year Masquerade. That is a ticketed event because it's a party. We're going to sell our hitty thing so people can buy a hitty thing and go use a hitty thing. And that just seems good to us. For YouTube folks, I'm not linking to that FetLife event because I don't want YouTube to put us in a fucking corner again. If you go to FetLife and search Subspace Events or Naughty New Year Masquerade Party, it's in Gainesville, Florida, you'll find it.
Or you could just go to the Kinky site on Fet and you'll see that we're
sure. Yeah, but we're not the Kinky on FetLife. We're the Kinky shop.
Okay, well,
it gets confusing.
I know.
But for podcast listeners, it'll be in the show notes.
There you go.
So there you go. We'll link directly to it. We're excited. Is this a brand new event? A first time party?
It's not the first time. They've started doing them, but they were hoping to
do more of them.
Build enough following that it's worth for them to do more.
Gotcha.
And they're kind of looking forward because, previously from the Ocala, Gainesville area, it's a trip either to Orlando or
to Tampa
Bay. To really do anything. And, they're looking to try and bring something a little more
local
to the, and regular.
Sure.
to the community here.
We've never done a vending thing at a party, so this will be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, when it was presented to us and offered to us, we were like, yeah, sure. And I moved on with my life. We had other things going on. And then when I went to like go start grabbing information so we could share with any of our Florida peeps who might want to go to such a thing, I finally like paid attention. I was like, oh my God, I might be too old for this, because the party is from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. And I was like, oh, I will definitely be drinking lots of coffee during the day in an effort to maybe stay awake. I'm hoping the adrenaline gets me through.
And then during the day, there's a munch.
Yes, that's very lovely for them. I'm gonna need to take a nap. Next announcement. I've said it 10 million times, but I like to keep saying it for those who might not catch it the first 10 million times, and maybe they'll hear it on the 10 million and once first time I just made up a word.
Wow.
If I don't get a break soon, I'm clearly gonna crack more than I've already cracked. But no, I know for people who are like me and like are very routine oriented, it throws people off when like our schedule changes. So I'm just trying to give plenty of warning. If you are annoyed by it, be glad you don't need all of the warning. Anyway, we're going on break for 2 weeks. We're actually going to make it a break. So there will be a video / podcast episode on Monday. Lola is howling in the living room. But then after that, there's basically nothing. We won't live stream. We won't have a podcast episode. We won't put the newsletter out. Basically, if you are a member of our Patreon, and you're in our Discord, you can reach us, and the Kinkery will be open. We will still be kind of working there as well. Yeah. But otherwise and I'm actually trying to take a break for the first year. And I don't know how long. I asked JB, I was like, you know how normally we spend our quote break, our vacation, or whatever we want to call it, planning 2024. I don't want to do that. I want to come back the first week of January and then plan 2024.
And I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I want to just sit still and mindlessly scroll, mindlessly do anything, sleep, watch TV. I don't know what I want to do. Right. I can't even imagine it, but that's what we're doing.
I told Kayla, I said, once we're officially on break, no more alarm clock.
Mm-hmm. I use an alarm clock because my paranoid brain is like, what if this is the one time you don't wake up before the sun comes up? But I wake up because I have some sort of shoulder, arm, neck thing going on, and my numb hands wake me up every morning before 6 o'clock in the morning, so it's fine. So
it's on the 21st.
Yeah. Silent is coming in for the win that there will be no stream on the 21st.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, God. We hadn't even gotten started. And it's already off the fucking rails. And this one is for the folks who clearly like us on some level, because I'm not even trying to be helpful. I'm just going to be my goofy ass fucking self. More so than usual. I know I'm always my goofy ass self, but you know what I mean. So, okay, we're gonna get into this.
What are we getting into here?
So we have one from the BDSM Am I the Asshole subreddit. I beg of you, if you have some fucked up situations, either personally or from Kinksters that would be like am I the asshole? Please post in it. This is I want this subreddit to thrive, and not just because our friend Rara is the one who like runs it and all that. I mean, yes, but also I love answering these questions. So for this time we have one from that subreddit, and then the rest are from the BDSM Advice subreddit. We are going to get started with the one from the Am I the Asshole? Here we go.
All right.
And now this is where I have to lean weirdly towards the screen that makes me look funky in the camera because I got old people glasses. Okay. I'm a 32 kinky female dating a 31-year-old vanilla male. Prior to our relationship, I was more active on FetLife and posted pictures of self-ties and marks and bruises from impact play scenes. I have tagged play partners in some of my photos, thanking them for great scenes. My posts have always been described as tasteful, and I have never just showed everything. All of my, quote, body photos are also set to friends only, so only people I've met and vetted can see them. Since we started dating 4 months ago, I have not seen or posted any pictures of my body to my account. I mentioned in passing that there were pictures of me online, but I didn't explicitly state what they were or show them to him. This past weekend, he joined FetLife and saw my account for the first time. When he was signing up, I warned him he might see some things he might not like. Now he says he is hurt because I kept this from him. He calls the comments on my pictures disgusting and the pictures themselves scandalous. He feels like I deceived him by withholding this information about my past online activity. I feel like I am entitled to my privacy about this and that he is judging me for posting pictures of myself online. Am I the asshole for not telling him about my FetLife profile and its contents even after being together for 4 months? For context, I have been open with him about being kinky and in my local community from day one. He has tried to go to munches and events with me, including a dungeon, and to do light activities like spanking during sex and some rope bondage, but he has also told me he has no interest in kink. I also found out after the fact that he had problems with activities going on at these events. He has met my friends in the community and liked them until he read some of their comments on my pictures, and now he has a problem with some of the men in the community. He asked me to tell my last play partner to never ever contact me again. He did take the BDSM test and his results were 100% vanilla. We have tried doing a yes, no, maybe list together, but most of his responses were, that's intense, yeah, sure, or absolutely not. We've talked about me going to the dungeon again, but I would not be allowed to play with any men and I would have to check in with him. I also shared a book with him about mixed kinky vanilla relationships. The title they mentioned, and this is actually the wrong one, it was another book, but they tried to give them a resource. Not sure about, okay, blah, blah, blah. And his first response was to ask if the book, quote, told me to leave him. There are also some other non-kink issues I need to address with him. I feel like this relationship is nearing its end, but I want to give it and him the opportunity it deserves. Why? Why? He has kink-shamed you and tried to control access to your kink friends.
Exactly.
Why are we giving him a chance at this point?
Yeah. You know, it's a fine line. I mean, when you meet somebody and you're dating, especially somebody who is not kinky or part of the kink lifestyle,
right?
You know, yeah, that's not something you would just roll out on the first date.
No, and I mean with FetLife, it's not. I mean, yes, there are people who could see it, but you have to have an account. You have to it's not quote just anybody. And even if it was, it's her fucking body and pictures and kink. Yes, you can do that if that's
correct. Yeah, you know,
I feel like it's just an incompatibility because it's fine to be vanilla. It's fine to be 100% vanilla. There's nothing fucking wrong with that. But this is a person who is claiming, I guess, to care for this person. They've been together 4 months, but also wants kink shames and basically goes, ew, gross. Likes somebody that he meets until he realizes basically they're kinky and that they probably
either did a scene or commented on some of her photos. Yeah.
Right. And so then the moment he knows they're kinky and has access to her pictures or her body in some way, doesn't like it, not supportive, wants to control access to friends. Like, I understand that it is common, air quote, typical, that there are a lot of cis hetero relationships where of either male or female, somebody's like, I'm not comfortable with you being near somebody of the opposite sex, blah, blah, blah. And we could talk about that being preferences, but I mean, I'm gonna give you side eye because actually that sounds like insecurity. I don't consider that a healthy reaction to automatically assume whatever. And this is playing out, but in a kink world where it feels even more dissonant when I'm like, what? This person has multiple play partners over time, is living their hopefully best kinky life. And you, who I'm not going to vanilla shame anybody, but I am going to asshole shame folks. The boyfriend or the whatever is the fucking asshole. Yeah. Not the person asking the question. They were not under any obligation, especially once they knew that their partner did not have a kinky bone in their body and was judgmental about things they'd seen at the dungeon and the munch.
Why
would I share that with you at that point?
And even before, that is the reason why most people don't talk about that with somebody who is non-kinky. Mm-hmm. You know, just for that reason. Mm-hmm. I mean, I hate to say it, there is a amount of kink shaming that goes on within the community itself, which is bad. But then you throw in the mix, someone who has no kink experience, knows very little about the community and what we do, and that is a recipe for the perfect storm.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree, because this, we all know that plenty of non-kinksters are extremely judgmental, and it sucks, and most of us want to avoid that. I mean,
and not all of them, but there are
plenty of them are.
Yeah.
And at this point, this person is in a relationship with somebody who is a judgmental non-kinkster, a kink-shaming judgmental non-kinkster. What is there to salvage at this point? I could understand an honest conversation about, wow, I didn't expect to see that.
Yeah.
Can you tell me why you didn't tell me? It feels weird that I didn't know. But to immediately feel some sense of disgust or whatever about the comments left on it, about the fact that it was done, about these play partners she adds the caveat that she had not hidden her kink life.
Right.
So this person was agreeing to be in the relationship knowing that their partner had previous partners, and quite frankly, most of us have previous partners.
Yeah, right.
Come on now. Yeah. The person is not the asshole. That is easily answered. No, you're not the asshole. To me, you waiting to even talk about this, or not being willing to talk about this with them and not feeling like you wanted to share that part of you, I think that was some part of you knowing you couldn't. I mean, you've just proven why maybe if you're, not dating a kinkster who's already on FetLife and might have their own issues, but basically gets it. Yeah, I see why you would have waited. And that's another thing. I've done this to, not in this kind of situation, but I have told people, if you go to this kink space, if you go, when I've talked to my family about what I do, I'm like, if I tell you or I send you to the site, you can't unknow what you're about to fucking learn.
What you see, yeah.
And I am not responsible for how you feel about it. And that was him. She was like, you're not going to like what you see. You're not prepared for this. Mm-hmm. And he did it anyway, but now his feelings are her fucking problem. No.
Right.
No, I'm not sure what we're salvaging there.
No.
And what we're trying to, especially if in the very last bit, it's like, we have issues that aren't kink related. I bet the fuck you do.
Right. Yep.
And that's, I'll say this. It's not to say that non-kinksters who are dating kinksters can't have feelings and feel weirded out and be unsure and be confused. Absolutely. But if the response is an immature response, unless you want to be the one that helps them grow up in a fucking hurry and learn how to have adult conversations, what are we doing there?
And this isn't the norm either. I mean, I have known people who are kinksters who are in a relationship with somebody who's non-kinky, and they're secure enough in who they are in their relationship to say, well, I'm not really into this, but go enjoy yourself.
Right. And I can see there being conversations about what they're comfortable with and what they're not, but to basically forbid everything, that does not surprise me that a non-kinky partner would be like, I'm not comfortable with you doing any of this stuff. Mm-hmm. To have those feelings you get to have those feelings. I think it just is then a sign that maybe there's no compatibility there, because if that person is like, but I need this, I want this, I'm a happier person with this,
sure,
and you are not comfortable, your boundary is you don't want a partner who's going to have other partners and do these kinds of things, then what are we doing here?
Right. I mean, you tell somebody, no, you have to give up that part of your life.
Right. Because I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, because I'm uncomfortable with it. That is a recipe for disaster for the other person to build resentment, because you can't just tamp down.
Right.
who you are and
No, and the way this person describes it, clearly it's an important integral part of their life.
Who they are, yeah.
Right. So it's just you're with the wrong partner.
Mm-hmm.
You just and then for them to be shamey and shitty about it, even more so. Okay, so before I get into the next one, the next post did not have a content warning, but as I read it, I was like, it probably should for anybody coming across it. So the poster of this next one does not frame what happened as sexual assault, but I think a reasonable person listening to what happened, and they don't go into huge detail, but they do go into a little bit, might think so. Okay. So if you're like, yeah, no, I am not here to listen to that, especially it's within a BDSM context. If you do not have the wherewithal to want to listen to that, you should skip it on YouTube. I'm going to wave at the camera when I get started until I get timestamps in.
Lola.
For podcast listeners, by the time this episode comes out, I'll know how long the conversation is. Just check the show notes for how long you need to fast forward. But for YouTube folks, until there are timestamps, I'll wave at you to let you know that we're starting and we're ending the conversation if you want to skip it. So, it's not like the worst thing I've ever read or read aloud for this show, but I still want to give people warning because I feel like part of my response to the response is, why did you not think this was worse than it was? So, about to get started. I'm waving at the camera, so if you want to mute until I wave again, there we go. Podcast listeners, check the show notes to figure out how long you need to fast forward for. Okay. Title. My dom insisted on a new safety rule and then violated it less than a week later. Was the onus on me to remind him? A week ago, my 35 female, dom, 35 male, also my boyfriend of 10 months, and I engaged in a very hot, very rough, anal, consensual non-consent scene. We didn't use lube by mutual prior agreement. Afterwards, there was quite a lot of blood. He clearly felt bad about going a little too hard, and while we were cleaning up, he said something along the lines of, "I'm sorry that happened. From now on, we will definitely use lube to make sure we're not causing any actual damage. I care about you so much, and I never want to do things to you that could actually injure you." It made me feel really loved that he decided that with no prompting from me, he was really good with aftercare that night, but I didn't feel like I needed much special treatment because his words made me feel so seen and cared for. This weekend, he had apparently had a little too much to drink. I couldn't really tell he was intoxicated at all. He holds his liquor very well and went into, quote, primal mode while I was giving him a blowjob. He grabbed me by my hair, threw me down onto the bed, and shoved his cock into my ass without lube again. I didn't safe word before he started because it happened so suddenly. When he threw me down, I was expecting vaginal sex, specifically because he had so recently insisted on not doing dry anal again. I did manage to say something like, "Please, not my ass again," but he might have thought that was just CNC dirty talk. I also didn't safe word during because the pain was tolerable and because I was experiencing the freeze part of the fight, flight, freeze response. There was a lot of blood again. This time he didn't really acknowledge it or offer much in the way of aftercare aside from falling asleep spooning like we always do. Our long-standing rule is that spontaneous rough anal always has to be followed up with aftercare. I'm feeling pretty disappointed and hurt. I brought it up last night and he said he had completely forgotten about saying he wouldn't do that again. And that in the future, I should say yellow if I need to pause and remind him of a rule that he's blanking on. He also reminded me this weekend that I should safe word if I think he's too drunk to engage in kink responsibly. But again, he didn't seem drunk at all and had only had about 4 drinks, which is pretty typical for him most nights. That seems like an acceptable course of action, but I'm still dismayed that it was so easy for him to forget. We're supposed to move in together soon, and this has shaken some of my faith in his concern for my long-term well-being. I realize/agree that I should have used my safe word, so I know I bear some of the responsibility here, but was I wrong to assume he would remember? How do I put aside my bad feelings about this? You bear none of the goddamn responsibility for what the fuck happened.
Right. No, they don't. What
the actual fuck?
If this person, this dom, cannot remember a rule that he put in place a week ago. Some serious shit. 2, again, this is just another. I'm sorry. I know there are people who practice safely with drinking, and but this is just another.
This is a classic example of how it doesn't fucking mix.
Right.
But also, I don't even care that he was drinking. He made a rule, broke it, and then told her that it had been her responsibility to fucking remind him of a rule. Mm-hmm. Don't just throw the whole air quote dom away. Throw him in fucking jail. Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me?
And I mean, the whole 4 drinks thing, 4 drinks is a good amount of drinks.
Makes me wonder if he does that most nights if he's a functional alcoholic.
Right.
Because if you can't, quote, tell, that means that, usually that means that's normal for them. Like, whatever that is.
Right. Because, there's some things to consider here. 4 drinks. Okay. Over how long a time period? Okay. Did he drink these drinks, within an hour, or were they spaced out over an entire evening? How strong was he mixing these drinks? So these are all things that, you have to think about here. But the fact that the second time he just went at it like that, right, without even caring, no, she is not the asshole. He is definitely.
Yeah, she bears no responsibility.
No.
Her end question here is, was I wrong to assume he would remember? No, the fuck you weren't wrong. You had every reasonable expectation that the rule he set 7 fucking days ago that he would abide by. And especially if he's not done something like this in the past, that does not put the onus on her to like have just known that this would happen, but it does. I say that because is this genuinely the first time, and so it's even more shocking, or have there been things going on that she just didn't recognize as red flags or things? Because we've all had those relationships where somebody does something shitty and you go, oh, it's fine, or they make an excuse that sounds plausible. Like, me wanting to know is not to say that she could have foreseen this, because no, she fucking couldn't have. I want to know because I want to know how much of a douche is. I don't even have the words of what to call this motherfucker. I want to know how bad it's been, because I feel like I can be even angrier than I already fucking am. So no, you were not wrong to assume that he would remember. And how do you put aside your bad feelings about it? I don't know that you fucking do.
Right.
Therapy? Dump his fucking ass first if you can safely. Get the fuck out of there. Oh my god. Oh, okay. My ears are red. It's bad all the way around. It's abusive. It's assault.
Yeah.
It's a lack of responsibility, which becomes the bare minimum once we're talking about abuse and assault. But it's the lack of responsibility. It is, I think somebody said in the live stream, it's pushing all of the excuses onto her, making it her fault and her problem, when it was his actions and his, Yeah,
somebody in the stream basically said it's gaslighting.
Oh my, you should remind me of a fucking rule. Fuck you. Fuck you so hard. Fuck you so hard.
Right.
I mean, I was, before we even got into the awful of this post, when it was like, we decided to do an anal CNC scene with no lube, I was like, no!
Yeah, right?
No, because even in a carefully choreographed scene where it felt like they understood the expectations, there still could have been injury that occurred.
Yeah.
And he almost sounded a little bit like the hero by being, like, caring that she had experienced actual harm, but then to just not care
and then to dismiss it.
Oh my god. And so now she's questioning what she's supposed to do.
Right. I mean, I'm listening to this at the very end. They say, they should have used their safe word, but in that case, would this Dom even have acknowledged it?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This person, the air quote Dom, is awful.
Yep.
That was assault, easily.
Yes.
what I want to do is gather up that person and go, here, let's get you the fuck away, and let him be a dumpster fire on his fucking own.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's much to add. It is enraging. It is enraging.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to wave at the camera now for anybody who muted who did not want to be part of that conversation to be able to come back. I'm waving, come back. Okay. Podcast listeners, hopefully you've fast forwarded and you're here now. Oh my God. Okay. We're gonna go to the next one. Yeah, that was the only one I felt the need to like put a warning on, because that was just okay. Get my blood pressure down so I can read the next one. Okay, here we go. The title of this one is Feeling That the Praise is, quote, empty. Recently, I expressed to a dom that I see semi-regularly that I have a really difficult time keeping motivation with a lot of mundane things, cleaning my space, working out, all that type of stuff. He suggested that if I wanted, he could give me a list of tasks that I should do throughout the week, and if I complete everything, I would be allowed to go see him for playtime. I said yes to this agreement, and it honestly has kept me on top of everything I need to do, and I'm thankful that he wanted to do this with me, because I wouldn't have had the balls to ask him myself. For context, we aren't super close personally, and rarely talk unless it's to schedule some playtime. Now, I love being praised, love being called a good girl, love it all. I eat it up. But for some reason, whenever he praises me for getting things done, it feels so empty, baseless, mandatory. Like it's not coming, quote, from his chest is what I mean. It's the same, good girl, so proud of you, over and over. And to be honest, our first scene since after making this rule was extremely lackluster. And yes, I hyped it up 100% thinking this was going to be a crazy, insane scene. But even if I hadn't, I still would have been like, oh, that was very mediocre. After our scene ended, I just was like, he's probably not in the right headspace today. We still had some good conversation afterwards, though. Maybe my tolerance for impact and pain has gone up since we first started doing things together, but I left with not even a tiny bruise on me. Again, he most likely was just not in the headspace, but my overthinking has gotten to me. The other thing is, too, he has a lot of other partners. Like, every time I look up, he's got someone else with him. Not that I really care, but I'm just like, was I another notch in his belt? Does he just want to say that he has a, quote, young sub? Context, I'm the youngest person he sees. Does he actually really even care about what I'm doing at all? Maybe I'm too emotional about it. Maybe I'm too self-deprecating for my own good. I just don't know how to feel. I think that many people, maybe not all, because I can see situations where maybe you wouldn't, but I think a lot of people can tell when praise is sincere and when it is not.
Well, it's just like, telling somebody you love them. Okay? When used in the right context, it convey, I love you.
It's the tone, it's the look, it's the everything.
It's the tone, it's the look, it's everything that goes with it.
You did a good one.
Thank you. But, words become empty after they're said so much.
Especially if there's nothing to go with them.
With that. Okay? So, there may be something to what she's saying. Absolutely. Because, it comes down to the fact sometimes show me, don't tell me kind of thing. All right? So, there might be something behind what she's thinking, feeling. Absolutely.
This is one of those times I would go, if that's what it feels like, absolutely trust your instinct on that one.
Yeah.
Because I think outside of some specific circumstances, I think most people, you get a sense. Now you can question yourself and you can doubt yourself and you can overthink it, which that may be what she's doing as well. But I think she knows. I think you can just tell when you've gotten a genuine, like a heartfelt, you did a good job, right? I don't know if it's the same issue or if it's two separate issues. In the comments on this post, people considered it two separate issues. This person has the dom has a lot of partners and, she's feeling like a notch. Here's the thing. If the praise is not, I think they kind of go together. Because if the praise is the experience with the partner does not feel genuine and authentic, I think that if they have multiple partners, then yeah, you're going to go, am I just part of the collection here? And I'm not important enough as an individual. I'm a notch. I'm a pretty in the bouquet of submissives this person has. I'm the reason this person can say I have this many subs, or whatever it might be.
Right.
I think that's a fair question to think when you do not think you're having an authentic experience with your partner. Now, if everything feels worth trying to salvage, all of this has to have a conversation.
Yes.
There should, I can understand a little bit of nerves around this if you have never had to have a hard conversation with a partner before. But I personally do not think that there's a submissive on the fucking planet who should be afraid to go to their dom and go, that scene we did, it was, how do you feel about it? Because here are some things I need that I didn't get. We should be able to have those conversations.
Now, to be fair and kind of be the devil's advocate here, I mean, every scene I have ever had, not every one of them has been 100%.
No, they're not gonna be.
There are times I'm off my game.
Sure.
And it's just kind of getting through.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
So
because that's just the nature
everybody
of things.
has an off.
Right, but the thing is, it's not about having the off day. It's about, am I comfortable enough, safe enough? Is there enough of something between us? Because it's not all we've been married 100 years and we're going to be together forever kind of thing. Do I feel secure enough in this connection that I can go to you and go, I am so glad we could be together for a scene. Can we talk about how it went down? Can we talk about the next scene? Here's some things that I would like to experience. Like, figuring out the best way to have the conversation absolutely depends on the interpersonal relationship. To you, I could go, how do you feel about that? And we're usually on the same wavelength. You would go, that was not my best. And I'd go, it was not your worst, but
it definitely wasn't my best either.
What do we want to do next?
Right.
We have that kind of relationship. But the ability to have what might feel like a difficult conversation, to do critical feedback of, I didn't quite get what I needed, what can we do next time, without, being insulting or whatever. Like, that's an important part of any ongoing dynamic.
Sure.
And
that's something we kind of started early on in the beginning to, call it what you will, but like debrief after a scene.
So if you've got am I just a notch? Praise doesn't feel genuine and authentic. And I didn't have a good scene. And, I think it's adding up to something. Is it possible it's adding up to, your own insecurities getting in your way? Sure, of course. Is it possible that your instincts are telling you, maybe this isn't what I thought this was? Also sure. The first step is always, can you have a conversation about it? And can you at least try? And what is their reaction? Like, if this person is just gathering up subs, right?
Yeah.
I think somebody said a harem in the live stream chat. And their immediate reaction is negative, deflection, not my fault, you're full of shit, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I feel like then whatever your instincts are about the negativity of this relationship, the bad side, they've just proven it to you. Like, you don't have to give more time and energy to, quote, fix it. Let us just remove ourselves from the harem at that point.
Yeah.
But if they're like, oh shit, that's not what I wanted. That's not, I was trying, and oh God, okay, let's talk about this. Then maybe there's something salvageable there.
Yeah, I know. And Rara brings up that, some submissives may be hesitant to share their feelings with their dominant.
Absolutely.
Which is absolutely true. But
you still got to do it.
You still got to do it, because in the long run, that is actually doing a disservice to the relationship, because it's a matter, in any relationship, kinky, non-kinky, whatever it is that you do that you like, it's about growth. And if somebody doesn't know what the other one is feeling, or there is no room for growth,
and they're not getting their needs met, or they're dissatisfied.
Right.
I mean, we don't know anything about this dom, and so is it that they're collecting submissives and they just want to be able to say they have a number and they don't actually genuinely care for all? I mean, yes, we've any of us who have spent any time in the kink space online, we have seen some version of that. But is it also possible, maybe not equally possible, but possible, that he wants to have a good relationship with this person, he wants to give them what they need, But DOMs aren't mind readers. And truly, a good test, not a perfect one, not the ultimate one, but a good test of, is this person actually trying, or do they want to try and have something good with me, as much as I want to have something good with them, is how they will eventually at least respond to feedback and respond to you going, hey, I'm so glad we could be together and have this, but I'm not getting some of what I need, or this is how I feel.
Right.
I think we had this conversation in a very recent episode where sometimes the initial reaction is negative because they feel attacked and they're not handling themselves well. And, you get to decide for yourself if you're going to tolerate a relationship where they have that immediate reaction before they cool down and can have a fucking conversation with you. But if they can come back to the table and have a conversation with you, then you've got something to build upon.
Yeah.
And if they cannot, if they stay in deflection, blaming, blame and shame you kind of mode, to me, that tells you that the question you should ask yourself then is, what the fuck am I doing here? If you cannot hear me say that I am not 100% completely satisfied with you all of the fucking time, if your ego can't fucking stand it, then what the fuck are we doing here? Because as you have said many times, and we say all the time, it becomes a revelation to some people, DOMs aren't perfect. You're not fucking mind readers. No. And you're going to get it wrong at times. And sometimes it's not even getting it wrong. It's just you were going for an experience, a situation, and it didn't work the way you intended. And that is not, for somebody to bring that up is not a mark against your ability to be a fucking dominant. It's just hey, let me give you the feedback so the next time we can have a good scene together.
Right.
We can
Let's make it better
forward in a good way. And yes, I absolutely recognize that submissives find that very difficult to do. And I am happy to be the ambassador that says, I need you to get the fuck over that in whatever way you need to do and start having hard conversations.
Yeah, what she said, okay?
It ain't easy. I mean, I was ready to swallow my tongue the first time I had to tell JB something negative. Had to physically write it down on paper because I couldn't say the words. But the conversation had to happen. It just does. And either shitty partners wave a red flag so let this one go, and a good partner or a potentially good partner goes, okay, this is hard for me to hear and this is hard for me to take, but let's have the conversation.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Deep breath.
Whew. Okay. I didn't know that one was going to make me rant, but here we are. Okay, so this next one is not heavy, but it gave me immediate thoughts, and I wondered what your thoughts were and if they matched up to my thoughts. Okay. This one is feeling more submissive when low energy. Too long didn't read. My dominant partner is discovering being submissive for the first time in their life with me, but only gets in that mindset when low energy. Here we go. Hi all. I am currently in my first ever romantic relationship that also involves DS, and when I started dating my partner a year ago, they were certain they were 100% dominant without any interest for switching, having been a dom in BDSM context for 10 plus years. While I was happy to be their sub and explore new things through that lens, as a newbie kinkster, I always, quote, warned them that there might be new things I wished to discover through my journey. They always said they'd let me try things on them if I ever wanted, with a caveat that it's not really going to do anything for them, and that when they tried subbing in the past, that was not a pleasant experience as the, quote, loss of control didn't agree with them. Well, about 6 months into the relationship, my partner started to sometimes act submissive towards me. I'm really appreciative for their openness and the ability to be vulnerable with me. After this happened a couple of times, they mentioned this is the first instance they'd actually enjoyed such role reversal because they can really trust me. This is not a particularly common occurrence still, and I haven't really consciously planned any doming scenes for them or anything like that. However, what I noticed is that pretty much every time my partner got into the submissive mood was when they were low energy, like after a long and active day, not having had enough sleep, feeling a bit under the weather. I wonder if any switches out here feel a similar way, like you only want to sub when you don't have the energy to dom, or if anyone else had a, quote, subby awakening when they were particularly exhausted. Another point that makes me slightly uneasy is that if this is the only scenario where I get to dom my partner, it starts to feel a bit exploitative, even though on all occasions my partner still initiated and we both enjoyed the sessions, so safe to assume they felt well enough to go on. Any advice on how to reframe this in my mind? So I can't answer on the switching. I'm not going to try. Switches, feel free to chime in, because that ain't my wheelhouse.
I mean,
But
the only thing I think I can feel to say, and that's from having listened to some switches, you know, I don't believe, you know, it's a switch to say, you know, oh, I'm going to be Big D this moment, and, you know, and next moment, oh, I'm going to be
sure,
a little less. I think there are certain things that bring that about. Mm-hmm. So I am not surprised to think that after this person maybe had a long day, that they're exceedingly tired, you know, that the day may have been stressful, and to them that may be their trigger. Okay, I this happened, and I need to let it go and let somebody else step up.
The immediate thing I thought about, and it's because I can relate to the feeling, so I'm putting my own stuff on this. This could be completely not true at all. But the thing I immediately had was how it's a part of my submission I fought against, of being a baby girl, and for me being on the spectrum of littles. I'm not saying this person, that their subside is like that, but it was the desire to be taken care of. I want somebody to take care of me. I want somebody to be a caregiver, to nurture, to look after me. And it is, we cannot know, because we don't know the other person's thoughts and their experience, but it is entirely possible that one, because of this relationship where they've said they feel safe enough, and two, for at least right now, they feel they're able to be submissive or let their submissive side out in a moment of vulnerability where they're just, they got no more to give. And now, in however they interpret it in their mind and it feels for them, it's can somebody else take care of me? Can you decide? Can you be the one? And I would say that, you know, part of it is because they were so firm in the beginning that, oh, I'm totally 100% Dom, right? And then they found the right relationship with the person that brought it out of them, and they felt safe enough, and the intimacy was there, and blah, 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 and their guard is coming down, that this might be, for now, the only way they can express it. Because if you have decided and proclaimed for anybody to hear that you are 100% anything, even if you've tried, even if you're open to the idea, to discover that there's a part of you that is not that 100% can feel a little jarring. Like, I think different people have different feelings about it, but it would not be uncommon to go, wait, was I completely wrong? Do I not know myself? Or to have that moment of, oh, in this moment when I'm just super tired or I don't feel good, yeah, I can let go, because look at me, I'm really, like, you can kind of like, I don't use the word, I'm not saying make excuses like in a negative connotation, but like, you can tell yourself all kinds of things for why you can do it now that you can't do it in another context, because you're not quite ready for yourself to commit to the fact of, oh, with this person and in the relationship we've cultivated, yeah, I can be submissive and I feel safe within myself to do that. So you have to, you know, you find that moment where it feels kind of easy, or your guard is down a little bit, or whatever, you know, again, it's going to be different for everybody. I would love for switches to chime in with actual experience, because we don't have that. But when they were talking about how their partner can only get subby when they're in that I'm needy kind of mode, I'm like, that's somebody who, maybe they wouldn't use the words, but that's a please take care of me vibe. I can submit to you because you're taking care of me, because I'm in that moment where I need somebody to take care of me. And if that's their entry point with this particular partner or in general, I think that's fine. It doesn't have to have the caregiver vibe. Like, they don't have to use any of the language of the labels of that, but that can be where it starts. I mean, I used to feel really guilty before I understood what kink was and before I understood that I was a submissive for desperately wanting somebody to fucking take care of me. Because I had been raised in the sort of the late 80s, 90s tradition of, if, you know, you need to be an independent woman, you don't need no fucking man. And I was like, I mean, technically no, but I'd like one. I'd like somebody to tell me what to do, please, you know, and then poof, oh, you're submissive. And I'm like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. So that, I mean, that's purely like subjective. Now, the part where, let me find the question again, where they're like, you know, it feels a bit exploitative. I know, I'm fucking over that word. That, I think, is maybe because they haven't really had the conversation of what their partner is getting out of this moment, what they need, what they like, how it's working for them. Because at that point now you are projecting your fears that you're taking advantage of them. Have they said that? Have they indicated? You know, if you haven't had a conversation already, you need to have a conversation. Like, I see this and I see this is when we're doing this. You know, this is how it's making me feel. Can we talk this through? And especially if they are fully engaged with you when you're doing it and they have the ability to withdraw consent and, you know, you're not actually pressuring them, then yeah, have the conversation and let them explicitly say, this is what I want. This is working for me. Advice on how to reframe it in their mind. I don't. JB's off behind the camera watching Lola outside lose her shit. He might have a better thought, but I have to get him back to the microphone and in front of the camera. Lola.
She is being up.
She is. Okay, so
she's in a mood today.
The final part of this person's post that I don't know if I have any good thoughts on is if you have any advice on how they can reframe how they're feeling about their partner's submission and how they're feeling about it in their mind.
To reframe that? Mm-hmm. In all honesty, I don't know.
I really think it comes down to talking to your partner and trusting your partner.
Well, there has to be a conversation, obviously. You know, because, yeah, I agree with you 100%, you know, about that she says it feels exploitative. I think, yeah, the person is being vulnerable. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's when they're able to let their guard down.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's commendable that they've developed a relationship where this person feels that safe. There are a lot of things, you and I have had this conversation many times in the past. There are a lot of things you might start out at the beginning of a relationship going, I don't do this, I won't do this, I don't like that, whatever, based on previous experiences with it and how you did it,
right,
and or how you think that kink thing works and what will happen. Yeah. And then as you feel safe, as you develop the trust and the bond with your partner, as you have experiences that don't threaten any boundaries at all with them, and you realize who they are and who you are with them, then yeah, a lot of people will go, oh, well, let me rethink one or two of those things. Yeah. The other thing that's key telling in this is that this partner had that first subbing experience and hadn't liked it. Well, then my question would be, what kind of sub experience was that, and how is that differing from this one? Because was it a dynamic that didn't work for them? Was it the type of submission that did not hit any of their buttons? And this type, however they're engaging, and it does. It does. Yeah. But yeah, to reframe it, I don't think you necessarily do that on your own. I think you just have a conversation with your partner, and you fucking trust them if they say, this is what I want, this feels good to me, but assuming they have earned your trust. But you know what I mean? Like,
I think that's probably, definitely a conversation about, you know, what's going on from both sides. And I think what needs to happen too, just like any relationship, you know, you have to set boundaries. You have, you know, this is a soft limit. This may be a hard limit. And I think maybe with this, there may not has been that conversation, that they've not set boundaries for
and it's just sort of happening organically, which is nice, especially in an established relationship where you feel safe to do that. But also that just because something happens organically does not mean there doesn't need to be a conversation.
Sure.
Okay, anything else you would add about this one? No. Okay, we're going to go to our last one.
All right.
And the response to this, I think, is fairly simple.
Okay.
It still made my ears turn red, so.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. The title is Real BDSM? I'm writing this 2 days after a really hard and heavy impact scene on Friday night. I'm in drop, which I think has to do with how I feel about this and why I'm looking for advice or outside neutral opinions. Anyway, Friday was the first time I have played in 5 months. It was a dual topping scene that we negotiated for a week leading up to the actual night of. I told my tops for the scene that I used red/yellow and plain language in scene to communicate. We set up on center stage at the dungeon with me standing, arms overhead, wrists buckled into leather restraints connected to a chain hoist. That sounds hot. We started out kind of medium and then built up to a heavy, constant pace. They took turns that lasted for 37 minutes. I basically went until my body was going to give out on me and called it. I didn't even call red. I just said I needed to be let down. During the scene, I processed different kinds of pain and endured it all. It was super hard. It was the hardest I've gone in a while, and it was the hardest I've gone in a single scene. Afterwards, I received phenomenal aftercare and felt physically exhausted, but mentally and emotionally very good. Yesterday, I even made it out to a munch and heard several good comments on how I impressed people with the scene. Today, I learned that one of my good friends described the scene to another person as third world torture rather than conventional BDSM, and it is starting to bother me. Someone whose opinion I value thought the scene wasn't real BDSM. I'm struggling with how I feel about this and wonder if I've done something wrong somehow. Have I crossed a line somewhere? I know it's hard to ask opinions from others who haven't witnessed the scene, but I'm looking for advice on how to process/address this. Thanks in advance. I'm sorry, that good of a friend? I'd be like, what the actual fuck?
Right.
You said something about me you couldn't say to me. First of fucking all.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you couldn't because you knew you were kink-shaming. What the actual... If you thought I was in danger, what kind of good friend doesn't say something to me?
Right. Or if you think something is that extreme, that's why they have dungeon monitors.
Right. Why aren't you... I mean, if you actually cared and this wasn't a point of gossip...
Yeah.
You're going to somebody going, I am worried about my friend.
If you really thought that scene was crossing a serious line, then yeah, why did you not get a dungeon monitor to intervene?
Right.
So
how do you address this process? And go for their fucking throat verbally.
Yeah. I mean, and then to, say that it's not real.
Oh, that's so kink-shamey. That's so kink-shamey.
Yeah. I mean, again, what constitutes real, what constitutes...
We're back to one true wayism thinking.
Yeah.
If it does not fit my narrowly defined thought on what kink is, it's not real. It doesn't fit. It's wrong somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Hate it. Gross.
Yeah.
Throw the whole friend out.
Oh, God. One person's scene may not be another's.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't make it any less real or wrong.
Right.
Okay? There was a situation at a club years ago where somebody had a very intense scene, and there were some people who thought that there was something wrong with it. And nothing was said during the scene, but afterwards there was a whole lot of
chatter, fucking gossip and chatter.
And the person who it was about basically kind of stood up and said, you know what? The person I was doing with this scene consented to everything I did. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They consented to everything I did. They wanted to what happened to happen. Mm-hmm. And, while it may have been extreme for a lot of you, this is what...
Mm-hmm. Right. You don't have to want to fucking do it.
Yeah.
Don't. If you don't like it, don't do it. Ta-da. In this situation, the part that pisses me off, I mean, part of it is to call it not real BDSM or it was torture or whatever. But part of it is this person labeled this gossipy so-and-so as a good friend. Mm-hmm. For the question they're asking of how do I accept this, get my mind around it, I think the part you have to accept is this person is not your friend.
Right.
A real friend, either in the moment, if they genuinely thought you were in danger, they would have gone to seek help. How do I stop this scene? I'm very worried about my friend. Mm-hmm. If they couldn't have done that, or they had their own freeze moment, that happens in high stress moments, they immediately, the moment they could contact you as a good friend and would have been like, are you okay? I am worried about you. But no, what they did was they went behind your back and they gossiped about you. They are not a good fucking friend.
Because again, and this is something that has been talked about at any number of dungeons. that I've been to, they tell you if you are going to be doing an intense scene within the guidelines of what's allowed at the dungeon, let the DMs know. Let them know beforehand, so that way if somebody does go to them and say, hey, this looks like a problem, DM can say, no, it's not. We were aware of what was going to happen.
And here's the thing. This person, I'm pretty impressed. They're like, it's been a while, but we negotiated. I was very clear in my communication that, blah, 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 blah. Like, they prepared for this fucking scene. I feel like again, I get it. It's subjective. They were that prepared. I really think that if in their mind this was, air quote, this real fucking hard extreme scene, because that is so subjective, right?
Yeah.
That they probably would have then mentioned all the other fucking safety protocols they went through. This was an impact scene with 2 tops hitting a person until they decided they were fucking done. That, not to be completely like, there's a word I was looking for, dismissive of anything, but I'm sorry, that sounds like the most fucking standard fucking scene in a dungeon I've ever fucking heard of. So I have questions for the quote good friend, and like, I'm not going to kink shame and say that what they do isn't real BDSM, but come on, give me a goddamn break.
Yeah, I know.
Like, we're not talking about, there was like blood dripping everywhere, apparently, according to like I just saw the live stream chat. They're like, rant number 3. Sorry.
Hey, going out and bang before break.
I think the part that gets to me about this is not just the one true way as I'm thinking, and not just it's not, I wouldn't do it, so nobody should do it. It's not just that. Like, it's it's the fact that this person thought that was a good friend, and nothing grinds my goddamn gears more than people that you're supposed to be able to trust and depend on fucking gossiping about you and talking about you behind your back, and then you feeling fucking bad like you have to like do something about this. No, they have just lost all the privilege of being your fucking friend.
Right.
And I'm the type of person, I would just literally never speak to them again, because that's how I handle these things. Maybe this is how that person handled these things too. And I would imagine it hurts them. They are upset by this, and I get to be righteously angry on their behalf, and I'm glad to fucking do it. But like, that's not a fucking friend.
No, it's not.
It's not. I don't know the gender of anybody here, but the trope of the mean girlfriend. That's what it fucking sounds like. I'm so concerned about you that I can talk about you, but not to you. Fuck you.
Yeah. We got Lola.
Sorry, Lola.
Made Lola jump on that one.
She's giving me a worried look, y'all.
Yeah. There are things in kink that I don't like.
Absolutely. Okay. There are things I don't want to watch. Like, no thank you.
Unlike you, if I'm at a dungeon or a party, I enjoy watching scenes. I know you. We know. I enjoy. Now, if somebody's doing something that I'm not into, all right, I'm not going to be like, oh, you shouldn't do that. No, I'm going to occupy myself doing something else while they do that. Exactly. Same thing like on FET. If I see something, I just keep going right by it.
The principle applies in non-kinky social media. Everybody feels like they got to share their opinion of something they didn't like that they saw online, when actually their mature response is just to fucking keep scrolling. You don't like the scene that you watched, don't watch the scene.
Right.
Or do something else, or what the fuck ever.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm so upset on this person's behalf.
Right?
Yeah. And I hope what this person actually has in their life are actual genuine good friends.
Yeah.
So that the loss of this fake friend is like a blip, and they know what genuine friendship feels like.
Yes.
I also, and we don't know the details of this person, like their age, their gender, or whatever. I know this happens throughout like any age that we might be, but I know it tends to be really common for younger people, like, because I remember like in my early to mid 20s, you still had that thought of the more friends you have, the better. And so you kept frenemies around because you're like, but they're my friend. The most freedom I ever fucking had in life was maturing out of that, or growing out of that. I don't want to say maturing.
Quality over quantity.
And dropping the fake friends. I mean, I got fucking peace in my life from that. Like, but it does happen at anybody's age. Like, we can be blind to, like, people's faults, or we can justify away bad behavior, or we can be worried that we'll be left alone. Like, that's not an age thing, but still. There's a lack of emotional maturity on the air quote good friends part. Mm-hmm. Also, it's somebody, I think it was Sin said it in the live chat, it's catty gossip.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, and I just, there's a reason I have like 1.5 friends in my life, like close, like know my, government name and my kink life close friends, because I don't have time or patience for that bullshit. Like, just, if I witness somebody in my sphere that's like that, I just immediately, even if I can't physically do it, I immediately mentally and emotionally withdraw. If you will talk about other people to me, you will absolutely talk about me to other people. Mm-hmm. I ain't got time for it. I don't care. I do very well by myself. Thank you very much. So yeah, maybe my reaction is not the standard reaction, but whatever. That was our last one.
Went out with a bang.
I don't know if I feel cleansed or if I'm a little pent up. Like, I don't know. Normally this is like I got stuff of my own shit out of me somehow. And right now I just feel like I need to go outside and primal scream. I don't know if the neighbors would appreciate that though. But look, if these people can go outside and like shoot their guns into the air, I should be able to go outside and just scream. Right. Okay. But I also don't like to be perceived out in the actual world, so I probably won't. Oh my gosh. My heart's like pounding from that.
Got your heart rate up on that one, didn't you?
It did. Okay, so that's all of our Reddit posts. If you are not currently on the kink side of Reddit and would like to be, highly encourage that. The BDSM advice subreddit is very much a lot of the same. How do I do this? When the answer is always communicate. It's fucking always communicate. But every once in a while, you get a gem. And yeah, the mods are really good on that subreddit. If this doesn't fit or if it's gotten out of hand, they just shut shit down. But some of the comments I've read, it's like, I might not agree with the advice, but you could see it's not harmful. Like, it's genuinely like trying to be helpful. And then continue to beg, plead something. Please, BDSM _ am I the asshole subreddit run by Rara. Just, I need more. I need more of your am I the asshole questions. I'll bet money you're not the fucking asshole, but maybe you are. I don't know. I've never been in the position to say to somebody's post, yeah, you're the asshole here. Unless we did one. Maybe one. I was like, yeah, I think you're the asshole. But now I don't remember.
I don't remember now.
I don't know. It lets me like deal with conflict issues without actual conflict. I don't know. Anyway. We will do more of these in 2024. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Maybe one day I'll go back to being the organized professional I used to be and actually schedule these out. But I'm not counting on it right now. And yeah, we'll do a bonus section. I lost words.
Okay.
Sorry. I feel this like lump in my throat where there's still more something to get out. Like, it started coming up and rising with the rants and it's not fully out.
Like a pot that overboils. Once it starts, it's hard to shut it down. Yeah. I get it.
Anyway.
I get it.
Okay, we'll do it on a section now.
Are we good?
I don't know. Keep it kinky, y'all. And we'll see you in technically Friday, December 15th, and then in 2024. Daddy.
Yes, baby girl.
Can I talk to the crickets, please?
No.
Okay.
Wow, you took that better than I thought.
If you would like to sit in silence while people stare at us, you go right ahead. Here's the thing. I can't talk to them, but I can talk to you, and I will keep up a stream of consciousness. Not because I can't handle silence, because I'm okay with comfortable silence, but it's not comfortable when there's however many people just like staring at their screen or listening through their earbuds going, what the fuck is going on? Did they just stop? Did the whole thing just, is my app not working? Did they freeze? What's happening here? And then we've caused confusion and chaos where it didn't need to be. I prefer confusion and chaos that is like fun and noisy. Well, not too noisy because that's overstimulating.
But I am the chaos goblin.
No, you're the sadistic bastard. I thought we established that. I can't believe. Like, I get you edging mentally or physically me. And I even get you kind of doing it to the audience, but you're usually a kinder, gentler soul to the audience. Mostly because they haven't yet consented to you mentally or physically edging them. Like, I consented. I get it. I signed up for this. But don't worry. The people I'm not talking to will know that they're not being ignored. You and I will keep going. Let's make our Christmas plans. Let's, what are we doing for New Year's other than the show? I mean, what do you want to talk about, Daddy?
Go ahead.
Thank you. By the way, yes, I still contend I'm not a brat.
After all that?
Yep. Oh, Andre, yes, I saw your picture on FET. I'm glad the paddle arrived. Mm-hmm. And Sin, you're right. The crickets are agents of chaos. I'm okay with that. I fucking love it. And after all that, I didn't have anything specific to talk about. I just wanted to, be here with folks. That's all. That's all. I didn't have, let me tell you this thing, because mostly it's home stuff. The oldest came home for just over 24 hours. Picked him up Monday afternoon from his apartment, dropped him off Tuesday night. I did two trips like that. Mm-hmm. I'm tired, but I was glad to have him home. He'll be home again on the 21st, and then stay home for a few days through Christmas. Lola's been, I don't know what to call her today, but she's just been
restless.
Yeah, back and forth. You know what? I think we were lulled into a false sense of security. We recorded this morning the Monday video / podcast episode, and she did not want to come in, go out. Mm-mm. She normally we're like, oh shit, there's Lola wooing in the background, which I've started to just let it fucking stay in the recording, whatever. I'm not editing that out, at least on the video. And she wasn't even around to do it. She was just napping on the couch. So.
And then when we started recording this, Onyx came in the room, and she was overly interested in what Onyx was doing.
Yes. And Onyx is being, what's the phrase I've heard used on the interwebs? A stage 5 clinger with you.
Yeah.
She's more of a stage 3 with me. If I stand still near a flat surface, she will jump up there and, in her very raspy meow, demand attention. Mm-hmm. But she jumped in your lap this morning while you were sitting at your desk, and you were still wearing your fuzzy robe, which is the exact same color as Onyx, so all you can sometimes see are her eyes. In, yeah. And she got comfy, did a full loaf, her tail was completely tucked. Not a full loaf because one paw was out, but it literally wrapped around him like she was hugging him. I was like, okay. Am I being is she trying to edge me out here and be like, no, this is my man?
Well, that was the third or fourth time she'd gotten in my lap this morning. And
as she's aging and maturing, is she maybe gonna settle down and be less skittish?
Maybe.
I mean, she's moving at a snail's fucking pace about it. Not with you. With you, she's you're the cat whisperer. You're her daddy as much as you're mine. With me, it's just oh yes, I demand affection from you. In this instance, don't give it to me any other time or any other way or. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, we have been working, but we slowed down a bit because, we it's funny to me how quickly what you perceive as quote normal can shift and change. We, in a very short amount of time, kind of got adjusted to Black Friday levels of orders coming in and just like being smacked in the face with like how busy we are. And then it slowed down after our Black Friday sale ended, which makes total sense. And then we were sitting around going, oh my gosh, why is December so slow? It's really not. We're having a fine month, but it's like...
Compared to what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
It feels all weird. So, yeah, we're still working. But I think I've probably spent as much time dealing with parenting stuff this week as I have with work stuff. So, whereas at the end of November, it was very much a, oh, I'm somebody's mother. I'm so sorry. You're going to have to wait a second. I got shit to do. Mm-hmm. Do you want Christmas this year? You need me to go work. But yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm looking forward to the break. I probably still will be doing some work, just not in the frenetic pace that I've been going at.
Sure. I mean, yeah, because we have sold out of some stuff that we'd like to get back in stock, and there's some things you're like personal stuff, projects you're working on, and but you've proclaimed many times to me now, many times as if I might forget, that the moment the break starts, he will not be waking up to an alarm.
That's right.
Several times I have heard this. I'm like, got it.
Well, you know what? Why I'm doing that? Because I'm trying to get it set in my subconscious so that I don't, automatically wake up at 6 a.m.
I mean, there have been a couple of days you did a really good job of not waking up early, and
That's
I was
true.
the first one up,
You were.
which is a strange phenomenon. It throws my whole morning routine off because I have a routine of how I get out of bed, because it's usually I'm the last one out of bed. So it's like, get up, go to the bathroom, put clothes on, because yes, we sleep naked, make the bed, and I have a whole like order and system that I do my mornings. And when I wake up first, that's just shot to fucking hell. And my brain goes, what? Okay, how do I do this? What happens next? So, but I'm always happy to see like getting some extra sleep.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm going to come wake you up and be like, you're fucking up my routine, man. What are we doing here? Like, I'm not going to do that.
Good thing you don't.
No, I'm not that brave or stupid. I mean, let's be real. I'd have to be both, and I'm neither, thankfully. So... Oh my goodness. I feel like there's other stuff, but we also have the Friday night live stream, which podcast listeners, that's the day this episode comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, that will be shenanigans.
Oh yeah.
The first 30 minutes will not be. The 9:30 to 10 o'clock, like half hour, that's just, we got to ease into shit. Okay. We got to like get settled. But yeah, from 10 o'clock on, and we don't have to be anywhere Saturday morning, which is the first time in a hot minute that we haven't had like an obligation on like a Saturday morning. So that means when we go to bed, we can really sleep in, hopefully, maybe, please God. So that would be nice.
Yeah. And I need to do some I have been pushing so much. It's like, on a normal time, come Friday, I sweep up the shop, I clean up, and put things away. No. That has not been happening for a while now.
I walked in on Saturday to grab something out of the shop. Your jacket was over here. A half-finished thing was there. I was like, what? Did he just, like, go, fuck it, I'm out, and turn around and walk out? Like, what the hell? Or it was more like you wandered away and forgot to wander back. I didn't know, but I was like, this is not normal.
Yeah.
This is not normal.
That's, so yeah, that's something that's on the radar, too, to kind of get things... a little cleaned up,
Oh God, silent.
Yeah.
I feel like either it's a warning, a promise. Silent is basically telling me that my ass is grass come Friday night for the demos for dollars. No, I don't need you doing the evil laugh too. God damn it. What else? There's probably other things. I'm just like, my brain is perpetually fried right now. Like I can I can do what needs to be done, but like intricate thought. Oh, well, today, this is actually the second time it's happened in the past like day and a half, but today I ran around like a chicken with my head cut off because I had convinced myself that a paddle that needed to be made to order from the Black Friday sale we had, which we guaranteed would be shipped out by a certain date if you ordered during the Black Friday sale, I was convinced I had somehow forgotten to prep it so JB could make it. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm trying to make notes of like after the live stream, make sure you prep this paddle so it can be made. And then we'll put a rush order on it, blah, 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 blah. And then I like was walking, sort of racing back over to where we keep orders as we get them made and we're ready to ship them. And it was there. I just hadn't seen it, but it was in the spot it belonged in. And my eyes had gone right over it. And I'd gone into an immediate panic. And I was like, I need a nap. But what I got instead was an espresso. And then I was sad because I let myself. I let myself try something new, which I'm not always good at Dunkin', because if you have the Dunkin' app in December, you can get a iced or hot medium latte for $2. Great. Mm-hmm. And if I can get it for cheap or free, I will try new flavors. But if I have to fucking pay for it, it has to be something I know I like.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, and I had to pay for it, but it was $2. So I ordered their brown sugar cookie. Like, I got an iced latte with their brown sugar cookie, I think it's called, syrup. I hadn't tried it before. It's fucking delicious. I will be getting it. But I like to get oat milk in my lattes because, regular, not lactate milk. Nope, not doing it. So I'm like, I'll get oat milk. I like oat milk. Get to the drive-thru, like, we're out of oat milk. I was so goddamn disappointed. I was like, this is not the latte I signed up for. But did I still drink
every drop?
Every fucking drop? Yes.
Yeah, you did.
I did have to bring it home and doctor it because the almond milk is fine, but I like oat milk better. I don't know. And I don't consider myself like an oat milk girly, like only in my lattes. When normally you'd put like whole milk or something in. Well. I don't know. I'm chaotic today, as always. Like, I don't know why I act like it's a special thing or a random thing. No. I'm just... You know what? I realize part of it is... I don't know if I can say that I mask. Maybe that's what somebody else would say. Because I don't have any official, like, diagnoses. And I don't... I just have feelings about using certain terminology. But if that's what I usually do, when I'm in this space with y'all... I don't feel like I have to as much. Like, I don't, I want to come across as knowledgeable. I want to effectively communicate my thoughts on a subject. So either I help somebody or I spark a thought in a conversation for somebody else or what, the things we try to do here. Yes. But letting my inner goofball out and just going, you know what, this is a chaotic mind and here, you can look at some of it with me, it's a comfort thing where I'm like, yeah. And, I know that not everybody vibes with it and likes it. And those folks tend to see themselves out and that's fine. We should all get to only consume the content that you actually like. Yeah. And then when you vibe with the people, and if you don't vibe with us, my feelings are not hurt. Go forth, find who you vibe with. But yeah, because I think it was it Junie who said it at the top of the stream in the live chat where I was, podcast listeners, you could not actually see, but I bet you could tell from my voice. I was all over the place. Mm-hmm. And Junie was like, the hand stems. I was like, yeah, the hand stems. Yeah. See, what y'all don't get to witness is the basically constant movement I do. Like in the kitchen, if I have to stand still and wait for something, I'm not standing still.
No, you're not.
Still? There's no standing still. Or the constant noise. I'll either be super, super quiet. That's when my brain is loud, quite frankly. The quieter I physically am, the louder the brain is. Or I'm just constantly making noise. I'm not always speaking intelligible words, but I am always making noise. And I just thought that was normal until I started learning about my kids' diagnoses, and I was like, it's normal to me because it's what I do, and nobody, to my knowledge, I don't have any memories of anybody ever making me feel weird about it. But I do know that I only do that in places where I'm extremely comfortable. Like, I do know enough to, I don't just do that out at random. If I find myself doing that in, like, out in public randomly, oh, I get really, like, freaked out. Like, what am I doing? But that, Of course, with all of that being said, the first thing the 18-year-old says to me when he gets in the car, when I go to pick him up.
Yeah.
On what, Monday? He's like, when are you going to go get yourself dealt with, Mom? It's like, well, it feels like an old tired excuse to go, when I finally can check all of you guys off my fucking list, because everybody else has issues. I don't want to say that as a parent, because I don't want my kids to think that they are the reason that I'm somehow not doing something for myself. But anybody who's a parent knows that taking care of your kids will often, if not always, come first.
Yeah.
And they have needs, and I'm gonna focus on them. JB has needs, and I'm gonna focus on them. But as the oldest gets more and more aware that there's life beyond him, he's like, when are you gonna deal with you? And he always like has this kind of like look and this like all of that. And I'm like, all of that? It's what makes me memorable and quirky. Even though I don't love the term quirky, but whatever. Like, quirky, there's something about quirky. It's like, I don't know. I can't put into words what I don't like about it. Like, I don't mind it as a word in general, but when somebody says, I am quirky, I'm like, that feels, what's the word? There's a word. Reductive. It's reductive. Yeah. Oh, Junie, yeah. That child is extremely, like, he's self-aware, and he's starting to use that power externally, and he's very emotionally intelligent, and I love that for him. He is struggling socially sometimes because he's like, he's being real self-aware, and his friends are like, oh, it's okay, your feelings are valid, and he was like, oh, no, that's not, let me translate into like, and I'm like, well, I guess I know where you got it from.
Oh, goodness.
So, yeah. I don't know. I could stay here all day. I don't. I have to like go do other things. I don't have anything even to talk about or say. I could just be, I don't know. I have threatened for more than a year to just do random lives where we're not actually like educating, informing, or even entertaining, and just like be there on live with people. I think it's because what I want to do is under certain circumstances with specific people and certain people actually be around people, but I have to do it online because we're all scattered across the fucking world. But I mean, do people just do that? They just go live with no agenda, no purpose. Whoever shows up, so then there'll be like minutes of silence because you're just existing. I don't know. I'm sure somebody does that, because if you can have a thought, it means somebody else has also had the thought and probably done the thing. But yeah, I would just do that. But I also recognize that's a lot of us. Like, I don't usually drink espresso, and I did not get a decaf. Did not get a decaf.
Yeah, I wisely got the decaf because that's my third coffee today. Right,
that was my second, and it's like only a couple of shots of espresso. It's not a big drink, so it's fine. But also, my mind has been like chaotic even before I had espresso. So
yeah.
So can I really blame the espresso? Probably not.
Probably not.
Oh, gosh. Okay, we should probably go. I have things I have to do before I have to go do other things, before I can then do even more things.
Yep, I'm planning on going out and shop.
I saw you had your work clothes laid out and ready to go.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to go. We'll be back on YouTube live, that part, Friday, December 15th. Podcast listeners, that's the day this episode goes live. 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you then. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I'm hitting buttons. Bye.